Donnie here at Tomorrow Group, eXp Realty, Memphis, Tennessee. And what I need you to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. That way you don't miss any of the content. We work really hard on putting it out there for you, and I don't want you to miss a thing. So let's jump into part two of a day in the life of a real estate agent. First video, we covered kind of the morning time, right? Get up, prep for the day, knock out your admin work, do some lead gen, do some follow-up, do admin work again, and then of course, get something into your stomach, get some lunch if at all possible. And then the afternoon, most of the time, your afternoon should be filled with appointments. When you make your perfect daily schedule, you should be putting mostly just appointment slots in the afternoon. Now, this is hard for a lot of people because maybe they don't want to make their calls in the morning. They make whatever excuse in their head that I don't need to make calls in the morning, I'll just make them in the afternoon. Maybe they like to sleep in. Lord knows I love to sleep in, but I make myself get up anyway. Well, guess what? If you have time to make your calls in the afternoon, you're doing something wrong because you should be on appointments, not making more calls to set appointments, because you should have set the appointments in the morning. So make sure you've got appointment slots. Hopefully you're super busy. You're going on appointments all day. Now, if you don't have an assistant, that means you got to do all the other stuff that goes along with a contract. So now that you got appointments, you're either showing houses, you're doing listing appointments, what have you. Guess what? Once you get a house under contract, or once you find a house for a buyer or get a listing, you've got to get that house sold, meaning you got to get it under contract. So you might be writing offers for your buyer. You may be negotiating offers. Sometimes a negotiation on one contract can take a week. Right now in this market, not a whole lot because a lot of multiple offers, but things will change and we will go back to having to do that. You may be negotiating an offer several different times throughout a night. It is not unusual for us to submit an offer at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and then get a counter back at 5 and then counter back again at 7 and another counter at 9, and we're getting a contract done at 10 o'clock at night. So keep in mind, when people think, oh, well, I can set my own schedule. Well, not really, because sometimes it's urgent that you take care of your client. And it's part of our code of ethics to put the client's need above yours. Doesn't mean it has to be completely unreasonable, but just be prepared. There's going to be times you're going to be working at night, putting offers together. What else might you be doing in the afternoon or at night? Negotiating repairs. This is a big one. It is one of the most difficult jobs as a real estate agent, is being able to work through repairs. I've seen $500,000 house deals fall apart over a $100 repair disagreement. Make sure you think about that you're going to be doing some negotiating repairs as you're working through that. Just doing the general paperwork. Let me tell you, the paperwork is one of the things that surprised me when I got into the real estate business. It took more time than I thought. I started with another job, which meant I oftentimes worked from 7 to 3 at my other job, showed houses till dark, and then did paperwork till 11 o'clock at night, writing offers, negotiating offers, that kind of stuff, getting up the next day, going back to my other job at 7 a.m. That's how I made it happen. So don't be surprised by that. Make sure you're ready to do a lot of paperwork. You understand your paperwork. Something I haven't mentioned yet, you got to do marketing for multiple things. Number one, you got to market yourself. If you don't market yourself, you can never expect your phone to ring. And as I said in video 1, it's nobody else's job to call you anyway. However, we all hope that someday we do enough marketing that people do start to call us. Generally, we start off having to kind of chase the business, so to speak, and then eventually we switch over to attracting the business as our names become more popular, as we're able to do more marketing. And you know when your marketing starts to work because people will start to let you know. They'll start seeing it. I actually texted an agent that was my real estate agent almost 20 years ago, helped me sell a house. I had to ask a question about a listing for a buyer yesterday. Guess what? That's one of the things we have to do, is just send little questions back and forth, getting information about properties for our clients. And she said, I mentioned that I was a client of hers almost 20 years ago. And all I said was, this is Donnie at eXp Realty. And she texted back and said, what's your last name? And I said, Morrow. And she said, oh yeah, you're famous now. That's how you know when your marketing is starting to work. But it has taken me years and years and years and tons of money to get to that point to where I'm attracting the business instead of chasing the business. So you got to market yourself. Guess what else? You also have to market the houses that you have listed and market your clients. You have to be whether it's social media, you're putting them out there, whether it's arranging photos to get them listed, whether it's meeting the photographer to put together the marketing, whether it's making brochures, whatever it might be, you're gonna spend some time marketing yourself as well as marketing the houses that you list as well. Of course, you gotta have time to show the houses. This is very time consuming. Most agents, even though they strive to do listings, start off with a lot of buyers. There's nothing wrong with that because those buyers, A, give you paychecks, B, they give you tons and tons of valuable experience. And in my opinion, there is nothing more rewarding than helping a buyer get into a house that they love. That's my favorite thing about the real estate business. I don't really have a chance to do that often anymore nowadays, but it is absolutely one of my favorite things. Right along with that goes with that is going to those closings. Fun time. Those are the cool things. Those are the rewarding things that you get to do in real estate, is going to things like closing, being able to see the look on those people's face, those clients' face, being to the finish line, the excitement of getting their family into a home they love, the absolute best part about real estate. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of things, and usually we do some combination of all those stacked into each and every day, day after day after day after day. So not all of it is glamorous work. Not all of it is the most fun type work. However, it is all rewarding when you accomplish a goal. It is all tied together. If you don't do one, a lot of times you don't do other. If you don't produce the business, you're not going to have any closings, amazingly. And that's why a lot of real estate agents aren't successful, because they don't do the lead gen part. So that's the biggest clue you can get out of all of this, is spend time doing lead gen, doing follow-up. Lastly, I haven't mentioned taking care of past clients. Are you putting on client events? That's something we might do. We might be planning client events. I also haven't mentioned helping the assistants. Like for us, we have 7 people on staff here in the office. So I spend a significant amount of my time helping those people throughout the day, giving them direction, answering questions, whatever the case might be. So I hope you're starting to see there are lots of things involved in running a real estate business, just like running every other business. If you've always been an employee all your life and you showed up and you knew what your tasks were for that day and you were really focused on doing one job, it's typically a pretty big shock for people to learn how many hats they have to wear as a real estate agent. Sometimes you're a psychologist and a counselor. It's pretty amazing what all you're doing. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea that it's not just unlocking doors. It's not just showing houses and filling in a couple blanks on paperwork. There are hundreds of tasks that we really do. I kind of hit the highlights of the major ones today. Be willing to do what it takes to. It's a very rewarding career. I love it. It is amazing to help people reach their real estate goals in life. It's amazing to provide jobs for people. It's amazing to see your employees do well, to see your agents do well someday if you get to the point that you can help other agents, which I spend tons of time doing that nowadays. And certainly not a complete list, but I hope this gives you a good idea of what your day might start to look like. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. We want you to catch it all because we want to be able to help you grow your career just like we're growing ours.